silent disaster is happening right now. Deep under the ocean, scientists report that coral reefs around the world are rapidly disappearing due to the rising ocean temperatures, pollution and human activities. Do you know coral reefs support over 25% of all marine life, yet more than half of the world's coral reefs have already been damaged or destroyed? But here's a shocking question. Would you notice if coral reefs disappear tomorrow? If this continues, marine ecosystems and the communities that depend on them could face serious consequences. Let's take a closer look at where coral reefs are found all around the world.
Where do you think most coral reefs are located? From remote island to bustling coastlines, coral reef can be found thriving beneath the wave across every ocean on the planet. Major coral reefs include the Great Barrier in Australia, the Coral Triangle Chagos Archipelago, Mesoamerican Reef.
Coral reef, coral reef, coral reef. What are actually coral reefs, by the way? Coral reefs are underwater ecosystem made up of tiny marine animals called coral polyps. Thousands of these polyps live together in colonies and secrete calcium carbonate, forming the hard structure we see as a coral reef. Most corals have a partnership with zooxanthellae algae, which live inside coral tissue. The algae perform photosynthesis, producing energy and giving corals their vibrant colors, while the coral provides protection and nutrient. And now, you know what are corals.
Hey everyone, my name is DEVANJALI and this is my friend KIRTIKAA here. Ever wonder what's happening under the sea? Let's talk about coral reef. Those colorful underwater cities packed with fish and marine lives.
Yeah, but the research will be fun. Since 1915, we have lost about half of the coral reefs worldwide. Imagine losing half of your favorite playground under the ocean.
And it's still happening. According to every year, coral reefs shrink by around 1 to 2% globally. Some bleaching even have hit more than 80% of reefs at once, like a coral disaster.
Check out Malaysia. In just 3 years, roughly 20% of the coral vanished. That's like whipping 47,000 football field of coral. Can you picture that?
That's crazy, right? And in Caribbean, nearly half of the hard coral cover is gone since the 1980s. Even the Great Barrier Reef spots about 30% of coral disappeared in just a single year.
So, what's the takeaway? Coral reefs aren't just shrinking, but they are vanishing fast, year by year, and this number making it super clear.
Exactly. Seeing this data makes you realize those underwater cities need attention. But don't worry, we're just analyzing it today. No more boring lectures.
Coral reefs brings a lot of benefits to nature itself and us humans too, such as protecting coastlines. Coral reefs act as natural barriers in the ocean. They reduce the strength of waves and storms before they reach the shore. Because of this, coastal areas are less likely to experience strong erosion or damage during storms. Secondly, habitat for marine life. Coral reefs provide a place for many marine animals to live. Fish, crabs, sea turtles, and many other organisms depend on coral reefs for shelter, food, and breeding grounds. That is why coral reefs are known as the rainforests of the sea.
Do you know that coral reefs are dying because of the climate change?
Wait, really? How does climate change even affect the coral reef?
When the temperature of the ocean rises, the coral gets stressed and they lose the algae that living inside them.
The algae? Why is that important?
Because algae provides coral their food and color.
So, when the algae leaves, the coral turns white?
Exactly, that's called bleaching.
And will the coral die after that?
If the temperature stays too high for too long, yes.
Wow, is climate change the only cause?
No, pollution is another big problem.
What kind of pollution?
Oil spills, plastic waste, and chemicals which ended up in ocean causes pollution.
So all the damage the coral reefs?
Yeah, and overfishing also affects them.
How does fishing destroy coral reefs?
When too many fish removed, the reef ecosystem becomes unbalanced.
So basically, human activities are causing coral reefs to disappear?
Exactly.
Advanced technology. Researchers are searching for solutions to recover coral reefs and bring the ecosystem back to life. Artificial reefs would be one of the best solutions so far. Artificial reefs look like real reefs, which can be placed underwater to create new habitats for marine life. Other than that, scientists are developing coral nurseries to grow young coral fragments before transplanting them back into damaged reefs. Research of high heat resistant coral, which can survive high ocean temperatures and bring a massive change to the marine ecosystem too. These advanced technologies are the only hopes for the future of marine creatures.
Because coral jadi. Temperature stays too high.
Wonder what's happening under the sea?
No.
Under the city?
Cities.